Oh. Okay, we're going live.
You're live. Oh man,
we are live.
That's weird.
All right, so we're live today. Pete.
Hello.
여러분 안녕하세요. Today there is no Kyori because she's sleeping and tired. So we're just filling the gaps in. But instead, I brought with me my very abnormally large Thai 친구. Thai 미국 사람 친구.
Yeah.
Pete.
안녕하세요.
Pete, who are you?
I am.
There's water in here, be careful.
I am the owner and proprietor of Macro Kitchen.
Macro Kitchen. Oh. That's right. So, we're gonna see who hops on, and if anybody joins, right? Then we're gonna talk shop today, but it's all gonna be in English. So it's gonna be a good English learning class today. We are gonna talk about business, 외국인 business experience from 외국인 living in Korea.
Yeah.
And how wonderful, challenging, and painful it is. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is fun. Fantastic.
Okay. So again, I'm going to repeat often. Kyori is actually sleeping right now. She's exhausted because she's been working on a paper. Hey, Doyun! Weekend's been going well, but so tired. So tired. What is tired?
힘들어요.
Not hard, isn't it? 어려워요 is hard.
No, 어려워요 is hard. 힘들어요 is tired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
힘들어. So 힘들어. Every day so 힘들어. But Kyori has been working on a research paper for the past few months, and she's trying to finish it today. So she spent all day working on this. And if you look on her YouTube channel, she has like a Lion King cat thing with Bella. She also wasted about 2 days working on that. So she's really tired and sleeping. And then later she's going to wake up and keep working on the paper. So she said, you do it. Do it with Pete. Do it with...
So I'm here.
So
Hi.
he's here. So 미안해요. 한국말 못해요. But Pete actually speaks a little Korean.
나 괜찮아요. 네네. I can speak a little bit of Korean. It's not too bad.
He can speak 고객님 식당 related 한국말.
Yes. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, my Korean is not as good as Justin's, but I can be okay.
So please don't feel like you have to stay. I won't be offended. I know everybody loves Kyori. That's what all my friends say. She's so 멋있다. And that I'm very boring actually once I meet her. Yeah. If I had to choose between hanging out with Kyori and hanging out with me, I would hang out with Kyori. We're also gonna just drink. So if you have a bottle, a beer, soju.
It's very late at night. It's 10 o'clock. So
cheers. Oh, you.
Kanbe.
Oh, where did your cup come from?
I don't know. I brought it.
Oh, nice.
I brought it from home. So kanbe.
So it's just gonna be hanging out with the guys tonight and learning about foreigners in Korea.
Doing work things.
Doing business and being tired.
So first talking point. Let's talk about
Why? Why did you come to Korea?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Mm.
I came to Korea to travel.
Why are you still in Korea?
Because Korea had really good. It was good with money. So I was fun. It was fun.
You mean the exchange rate was good?
Yeah, the exchange rate was good when I first came, and I wanted to travel. So it was easy to travel. It was a good stopping point for traveling all over Asia. So it was nice.
Mm.
And then I ended up loving Korea as much as possible. So I ended up staying. I didn't want to.
How long have you been here?
I've been here going on 10 years now, I think.
10 years.
I know, and I'm terrible at Korean.
And you can't speak Korean fluently yet.
I've been too
after
busy.
10 years,
I've been too busy.
This
working.
is as much Korean as he has. I'm actually on a very good pace.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. No, my Korean's okay. I focus all of my work in my work, so it's been really difficult to actually set time aside to study.
So you came to Korea because you wanted to travel.
Yeah.
Here, you want to sit on the bike? Sit on the
No,
bike.
I don't want to sit on the bike.
No, it's comfortable and it'll make
No.
you taller because right now
I don't
you're
need
little.
to. I don't need
You're
to.
too little. Just sit. It's okay.
Why?
Sit. Let's see. We'll probably be about the same height
He's
if you
making
sit.
me change positions. Okay. All right. Well.
Right?
No,
You're
but
there.
now I look really big.
You are.
Can I?
By the way, he is the biggest Thai person probably in the world. I don't think there's any. Don't do that. It's gonna get people sick.
Oh,
Just
really?
sit.
All right.
Okay. So you came here to travel. You traveled for a bit. You
Yeah.
didn't even study.
I didn't study any Korean. I didn't do anything. I just came here because
So
That
what were
was
you
a good
doing in
plan.
the States before you came?
I graduated in science, and then I was
No. Horticulture. Let's be clear. He studied to be a farmer. But anyways, let's not hide the facts.
It was not to be a farmer. It was just to be in biology. I just had an emphasis, and then I couldn't get a job, so I came to Korea because it was traveling. I wanted to experience more.
I see. Dolyun, thank you so much. We're gonna give it a shot, and if people get bored, and then it just ends up with 0 viewers, we'll probably stop. And yes, Korea's not hard to learn, I think, but it's not easy.
Oh, it's definitely.
That's Dolyun. Say hi.
Oh, hi, Doyen. It's nice to meet you.
Camera's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this what's up,
Yeah.
Korean is so Korean is not my second language. It's my fourth language because I learned Thai as my second language, and then Spanish is the third language after that.
Si hablo español?
Oh,
Really?
más o menos. Yeah.
I see.
Anyway, Korean is, but it's easy to pick up, so it's not so bad. But the grammar part is probably the hardest part of everything that involves Korean.
I see.
Yeah. So what about you? Why did you come to Korea?
Because I met Kyori.
And that's it? You just picked up and grabbed everything and moved?
Pretty much.
To
I mean,
Korea?
if I didn't meet Kyori, I don't think I would be here. Like it's
Really?
What I never thought about coming to Korea. So let's be clear. On the scale of women, Korea amongst the Asian women, for most men, I would think, and maybe this is just an isolated kind of type of scale. Korean women are some of the hottest Asian women. No?
I think all women are beautiful.
You're such an
So I mean, like, I don't know why you would have to like go and separate yourself from like all other women, but yeah, if you want to do what you want to do, then do it.
So anyways, so I think there was a curiosity, but I never thought about coming to Korea. But anyways, yeah. So I came because I met Kyori, and because she could be a doctor or practice medicine if she came back. She couldn't practice medicine in the States.
Yeah, but she's
not
can't be
board
yet
certified
for-
in the States, right?
Exactly.
So we decided to do that. Let's see, Doyen said, it's great to meet you as well. He's talking to you. And yeah, the average person who speaks Korean as a first language knows next to nothing about the grammar.
Oh my God, that's
Like
crazy.
but that's every language.
No,
Do you know the grammar of English?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. at grammar.
Really? How do you semicolon? When do you use it?
Semicolon. When to use a semicolon? When you need to break apart a sentence so you could talk about.
What about
different
colon?
words.
When do you use a colon?
All right, I don't know.
Don't worry. I think in every language, nobody fully understands their grammar because they just
No,
know
but
it.
Koreans. Okay, so I spent a good amount of time teaching English in Korea, and Koreans are very heavy, dominant on grammar. Like, that's what they want to learn and study.
Because that's all the test stuff.
Exactly. So that
But
makes
even
it really
all
difficult.
the test stuff in America, even though they test grammar, we never learn grammar in America.
No, they don't.
Not in public education.
So that's why the majority of Koreans are better at testing than Americans are in terms of English.
Not because it's generally speaking, Americans aren't very bright.
Nah, they're stupid.
Yeah, Americans are generally
But for
very
the most
stupid.
part, Koreans are better at test taking than Americans, and that's pretty common.
Yes.
And yeah, next to nothing grammar. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think I realize I need to also turn off Kyori's cacao. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we both ended up in Korea. You came here to travel. I came here because of marriage.
Yeah.
And then you ended up opening.
I ended up opening my own place.
What is your own place?
I owned a salad restaurant.
No, before that.
Oh wow, we're gonna go deep, huh?
Well, we're gonna go with the beginning.
Right. So the beginning, I decided I've never been in part of the industry of the food and beverage industry, so I decided to open.
By the way, majority of the people that do watch this, if they watch this, because it's you and me and not Kyori, if they watch this, are not native English speakers. Meaning, you should slow down your pace,
Oh, yeah,
and
slow it down,
enunciate a
slow it
little. Your mumbling isn't cute if they can't understand you.
Sorry, I've been a bit. All right, so I decided to open a Thai delivery business. Never being in the industry before, and with ghost kitchens being very predominant and new at the time, I jumped at the chance because it was they had services provided, so I was able to learn a lot being in the industry or trying to get into the industry. They would help me learn more in terms of how I can run a business properly.
I see.
So I did Cali Bangkok, and that was our Thai delivery business.
And this is where Chuck met you first.
I actually met Chuck first at a food eating competition. I was a competitor. I ate in the food eating competition. He provided some food. But before that, I was always a part of, I loved his burgers at Cali Kitchen, and when they were at the first location.
Now we're going to pause you. His restaurant name was called Cali Bangkok. Now, granted, Cali is short for California. Nobody has a right to California or Cali, I understand. But Cali Bangkok, we're Cali Kitchen.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's all from California, so it's okay. We had remember Cali Tacos, from Greg.
And I felt the exact same way about that one.
That was not as fun.
How can you have a business taking the first part of the name and attach it to yours? It's kind of
I actually was a little I was a little worried about that when I started, but it made more sense for me to do it because we were not making burgers. We weren't doing anything apart.
Actually, it was our Thai branch. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So wait, hold on. I'm going to pause. Just to be clear, again, I'm so sorry. We were going to have our regular live stream with Kyori, but Kyori is really tired today. So she's fine. She's just really tired. So she's been working on a paper, and so she's actually resting right now. She's told me to just jump on and
do stuff. And I'm here. So I could wear a wig, and I could be cured.
So instead today we're talking about F&B, food and beverage industries, and our experience in restaurants in Korea as foreigners. You
dropped my phone for the 1,000th time.
Okay. So again, feel free to join, ask questions if anybody's interested in the business perspective in Korea or even as foreigners. I'm pretty sure we have a different insight.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
And we probably have our own perceptions,
feelings
of doing business in Korea, positive and negative.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're thinking, I want to open a really great tteokbokki place, I have a great idea, feel free to ask questions. Pete can understand a little Korean, and I have Papago, so I can copy and paste your question for translation. I just can't speak in Korean, I'm so sorry. Okay, so you opened up Bangkok, and then?
We didn't learn how to properly play the delivery game properly.
Delivery game. So what do you mean? Are you telling me there's a difference between if you're going to have an in-house dining restaurant or like say a coffee shop that's just a standing coffee shop or a cafe or a delivery focus? Is there different models?
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge difference.
What's the difference?
So with the delivery model, when you're opening something for the first time, you need to get exposure. And for the most part, exposure means being on specific apps. And these apps are Peraminjok, Pemin, and Kupang, Yogyo, and Pemin 1. But for the most part, everyone looks at Pemin. And Pemin is like the Naver or Google of delivery services. So people search on Pemin and then they'll often order on other apps. So as this model happened, and what we learned is that you need to put advertisement so we can get more exposure. And we never got that exposure with Cali Bangkok. We just kind of...
You didn't pay for it? You didn't pay for the flags?
We paid for the flags, but we didn't pay for enough. We didn't think about the amount of likes that we needed to get, the amount of, anything else involved with that. We just kind of we're here. This is what we're going to do. Hopefully things come happening.
So
that didn't happen.
Let's break it down. So Peimin, Pedarumingjok, right?
Yeah.
The way it works, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
They take a service fee to list you. But on top of that, they have something called flags. And you can buy as many of these flags as you want.
Advertisement flags.
Advertisement
Yes.
flags.
Advertisement flags.
And then you put them in different parts of the city where you can deliver to.
Yeah.
And then depending on how much coverage you have, they put your restaurant higher.
Exactly.
So, like a big franchise, they'll just buy a lot of these flags and just boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
And then they're always on the top.
Yeah.
But a smaller restaurant that can't afford it, each flag is 70,000 won?
Yeah, and it's per month, so you pay a specific amount per month, and it gets kind of
expensive.
So,
and they recommend to get at least 10 flags when you start.
Yeah.
That's automatically 700,000 won in advertisement costs.
Yeah.
Just to be on Payme, just to get coverage, but that doesn't even include, now you have to get a driving service.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. So there's a third party, right?
Yeah, so the third party with that was, luckily because we were part of a ghost kitchen, they provided the services, right? So that way we had our riders and everything set up. So all we had to do was put our stuff into the matrix, Pera, Minjok, and Kupang, and then they took care of the rest. And so that was really nice. But at the same time, we didn't get any exposure. So we had to do a lot of advertisement on ourselves, on social media, on Instagram, and it didn't really work out the way we hoped. So, and plus on top of it, Thai food as delivery is in a very special demographic. We're in the Asian section within the Asian section, if that makes sense.
So you're still foreign but Asian.
Yeah,
and then
so not many people really find it out unless they really, really like Thai food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you did well though, right?
We did okay, but it wasn't enough to make a profit.
And so Doyun asks, I had no idea Paymin had a flag system. That does not sound at all sustainable for a small business, especially one that's just starting out. So you're totally right, Doyun. 100% right. So this is an interesting thing though. So you had no background, no knowledge, no marketing.
Not at all.
So for us, for Gentleman Chicken, it was our first time using Paymin. And so they told us, oh, you should have 10 flags, etc., etc. But we're using cash out of our pocket.
and you can't afford it.
We can't afford it.
You can't afford it.
So we got 4 flags. Actually, you have to flag your own location.
Yeah.
So that so
you have to flag a lot of places, and and then there's another thing like you need to consistently move them around within the month so you can get more exposure.
Yes.
So like the whole part of the flag system with Pemin, because Pemin is like gym based. So like if people look at you and they're like, oh, this many people have liked it or something like that, you want to get a specific amount of likes just so you can have
that exposure, right?
It's just exposure.
So this is an interesting thing with Gentleman, though, because even though we were on Payme and we did receive some orders, we found that I just dropped wine on Kyoti's paper. For Payme, for us, nobody was using Payme as a search engine. For us, people they were directing themselves to like searching our name, and would come straight to us. So we found that there was no point to any of the flags.
Wow.
Because very few people actually were searching for us.
That's so interesting.
So because we marketed through also our Cali channels.
Yeah, you were marketing. You had a different marketing system because you're already based on like social media.
That's right.
Already have like a complete standing. So you're like making another brand. So it was a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
Just so you can advertise.
But still, we didn't get that many payment orders. But Coupang, that was all of our orders.
Well, but the thing is that once you open on Coupang, the first week or two, they give you a specific level. They'll give you like level 3, which is big radius, lots of orders, high coverage, and then they'll give it to you. And if you can handle the amount, then they'll can sustain you. But if you can't handle it or there's too many problems, then they'll drop your level down.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty prevalent. If you're, for the most part, anyone who opens Coupang on Coupang within the first week, they'll get any kind of delivery system. They'll have the highest volume orders within that first week. If you can maintain that volume of orders, then it will go up. But if you can't, then it will drop.
I don't think Chuck knows that either.
A lot of people don't know that.
Oh my goodness.
We learned that from Cali Bangkok as well as Macro. So like we didn't know about the game.
Yeah.
Because it's a big game.
It's a game.
Especially for the delivery.
Yeah,
This is a huge game. And so we didn't learn about that game until a lot later. So then, we decided to open up our different brand, which is Macro Kitchen. And then Macro Kitchen, we when we first started, we started putting advertisement flags on in different areas, and then every week we would switch them to different districts where we delivered to. And then as within the month, our milestone was, well, let's hit 1,000 gyms within the first month. And when we hit that,
What is a gym?
Gym is a light. So we hit our first 1,000 within the first month, but then also Macro was a little bit different than Cali Bangkok, because we were a salad brand, so we were in different categories. So a lot of people saw us in different categories, and so because of that, we got higher likes, and it worked out really well. And then after the first month, we kind of just dropped down our advertisements, and then once we dropped down our advertisements, then our revenue went up, which was very interesting.
Okay, now back to the original question, which was, this is all about the different delivery or different types of setups you can have for restaurants. You have a delivery focused restaurant.
Yeah.
We also do have a delivery focused restaurant. There's different types. Now that you have, actually, he recently opened a new store, which has delivery and in-house.
Yes.
In Techidong.
Yes.
Techidong.
Yes.
So how's the experience been?
Well, let's see. So this is boring in terms of like talking to people.
So I guess it depends, right? If somebody's actually there's a lot of young people that, I want to open a restaurant. I can make good money if I open a restaurant. Actually, after Itaewon Class, did you watch it?
I love that movie.
I love
the TV show. I'm sorry.
No, I really liked it too.
No, but so in everyone wants to have that golden idea.
But I met a lot of like former like artists, like maybe singers or like actors. They all say the same thing too. Yeah, I'm investing. I'm gonna open a few restaurants with my extra money, and that's gonna help me for retirement. And I look at them like, are you fucking crazy?
It's the wrong investment.
Do you know, like, it's not, you're not going to make money.
Especially if they know nothing about the industry and they're just dumping money into something, it's never going to work. I hate to say it.
It's not that it's never going to work, but it's most likely not going to work.
Yeah, I think the chances are very low. But to go back to the question, we did open a place in Daejeon, and we have a place where you can sit and eat, and it's very nice. It's a very interesting experience because now we're keeping up with the same amount of orders that we have for delivery, and then
he said, "This is actually pretty fascinating stuff, even though I'm probably never going to be in food and beverage."
Don't do it.
Which is a smart choice.
Don't do it unless you have a passion for making food and wanting to sell it to people
and suffer. If you love pain,
there's a lot of work.
So actually, people that I like a lot, when I hear people that, oh yeah, I want to open a restaurant, or I want to do this, if I like them, I always tell them the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, don't do it. Like, don't do it. But if I don't like them or I don't care, good luck. Good luck to you. So Doyen, don't do it. It's good. Don't do it.
It's being very nice about this. No, at least with our place, we are working on attracting more customers to come into our place, and how is an interesting point. We are doing like discounts for coming to dine in, and like we're just offering little services here and there, and it's very nice. Yes.
So Doyen said, so you should only get into F&B if you're a hardcore masochist. And yes, if you love pain, some people love pain.
I do.
Clearly.
Actually, I clearly do, because I don't ever stop working. So
I wonder if it has to do with like the fact that I play sports growing up. You were like working out a lot. Like to grow muscle, you have to actually tear the muscle, right? That's
yeah.
pain.
So it's
so maybe there's like this.
But I think what it is that we both understand that if you work hard and you see things growing, you see the value in it, and you want to work more to make that value grow. And for me, like because I've been delivery based this entire time for like 3 years, to see people keep coming into our restaurant and sitting and eating and ordering the same food or ordering something, like it motivates me. It makes me want to do more and bring more and give them more, because I've never experienced that. All I see is just like
reviews.
I just see reviews. I see orders. I see the amount of times they've ordered. And so all I know is that like, oh, they like my food. This is nice. But now I get to put a face to it, and I don't know.
Do you
it
like the
humanizes
faces that you see?
Yeah, they're fantastic. It humanizes it.
Such a nice guy.
I mean, like, come on, like, I see all walks of life. I see people trying to eat healthy, and that's one of my favorites. And I also see like the gym owners.
By the way, Macro Kitchen is based on some sort of diet plan called Macro.
It's not a diet plan.
Or it's a way to eat, right?
Okay, so
in 2 lines, what is macro?
Oh God! All right, macro means macronutrients.
That's 1 line.
Okay. And controlling your macronutrients is the way to control your diet so you can have a better lifestyle.
Period. Comma.
Semicolon, feeling better and healthy. All right, there you go. Yeah, perfect.
But it's kind of not a philosophy. What
it's not a philosophy. It's a diet. It's a diet lifestyle. It's just a mentality.
So it's a diet lifestyle, and so he's making food based on this type of diet.
Exactly.
So that it's a very healthy brand.
But not just that, we count your macros for you. So a lot of people who are dieting or having who need to cut down their weight, they have a lot of times doctors and people will tell them, oh, you need to get an app to count your calories, count the amount of protein or carbohydrates, fats that you're taking. We take that and make it simple for you. So all you have to do is just enter whatever we have into your phone or whatever so you can track it. And so we count your calories and macros for you.
So then,
and it makes it a lot
do
easier.
you find that a lot of your customers actually are using apps like that?
Yes.
I mean, are there some, like, you've had comments like, hey, thanks, this helps out a lot?
Yeah. We have this one customer, and he's in Tanggol, and he has been ordering from Oksu, our Oksu branch, and he's ordered over 100 times.
Damn.
And he literally left a review saying, I lost over 15 kilograms, and it's all thanks to you plus the exercise, but like we fed him the right food, and he has lost a lot of weight, and he really hopes on getting a girlfriend, and I'm really happy for him. Like I'm just really happy that I can provide like a lifestyle change, even if it's not just like permanent or whatever. Like if they just feel good for that moment and they feel like they can, be a better person.
So clearly Pete is somebody who cares about food and people, and so he's like the perfect kind of F&B restaurateur type of person. When you look at me, you don't see that.
What are you talking about? You have the greatest ideals. You look at it at a perfect business standpoint.
No.
You want to make things. He wants
to make money, and I'm not making any money.
You want to make it profitable.
I make negative money.
You're making enough money.
Enough? That's only because you're not making money too.
Yeah, good point.
So okay. So that's the transitioning. You're finding some of the challenges. What do you think is the number one most challenging thing for you in the F&B industry, whether personal, work related, whatever the case?
I think the most number one challenging thing is being understaffed.
Why? Why can't you just hire more people?
Because it's hard to find good people who want to work.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
I don't.
And we get, you can get a lot of applicants, and they want to work, but they don't expect they've never been in the industry before or something, and so they don't know what to expect. And being in this industry, it's very demanding. There's a lot of work involved, and they don't know or they can't handle the amount of work that's being involved. So
yeah. So I think it comes back to this idea. So I met a lot of young people that watch Itaewon Class. All seriousness, they watch the show and they're like, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to open a business. I want to franchise it, and I want to." And I think most people, like, without kind of understanding how much work is involved, it's very difficult. So they don't last 3 months.
Exactly.
Right?
No, 100%.
It's a lot of work.
They don't last very long because they don't expect they're living in a fairy tale world if they're gonna try and expect it to something like that.
Yeah, but on the flip side, we did meet this one girl. I'm gonna totally throw. It's called Ko Somi. She's now opening her 5th spot. After when we met her, she had one place and she had the ghost kitchen. Mm-hmm. She's now at number 5.
What?
And she's like, I wake up every morning listening to the theme song of Itaewon Class. And she's like, she's like this cute young girl. And she's like working really hard. Her mother was helping her make like a lot of the bases. Like, she's doing it. I'm kind of, Nick, don't scratch.
Well, so my next question is, what is she making?
She's making Korean food.
Wow. Yeah, Korean food is a really good one, but that's a hard industry to get into. All
Korean.
I know.
But she's making really nice food. So Ko Somi, look her up. Doyun, he says, helping customers calculate how much of what they're eating sounds amazing. I'm type 2 diabetic, so I need to know how many carbs and how much sugars I'm eating, which is super hard when I'm eating out.
도현님, order from us because we don't have sugar. All of our sugar is sugar substitute, so there's no sugar, and it's perfect for diabetics.
That's if you want to eat healthy.
It really is, and the best part is that we have very delicious food in terms of it's a lot of people. If you look at our reviews, a lot of people are like, this shouldn't be healthy food because it's so delicious, and I don't know. I'm really happy that people think that. And
no, but your food is healthy.
It is very healthy.
It's very the weird healthy. Cognac and rice stuff that you have going on.
We are like our cognac bap. It's we mix cognac sar with hyunmi and we make it so it's half the calories.
But I think that kind of comes to an interesting point in Korea. So I'm gonna tangent.
I'm sorry. I was gonna look for the Itaewon class.
Oh. No, but it's copyrighted too. You can't.
We can't copyright. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
I can sing it.
It says, I just looked up Macro Kitchen on Naver, and your food looks absolutely delicious, Pete. Even more awesome that you don't use sugar.
Never. We don't use any sugar. It's all sugar substitute. So.
That's why. So he's not really sweet. He's just sweet substitute.
I'm a sweet substitute. You could call me Stevia, Pete.
But I'm gonna just kind of tangent really quick. So again, I apologize if you logged in to check in on to say hi to Kyori. Kyori is actually just taking a break because she's a little tired. She's working on a big research paper. And so she's been working all day and she's sleeping right now. She's going to wake up in a little bit and then keep working on that paper. Meanwhile, she said, why don't you just go on live with Pete?
That's why I'm here.
And that's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. I'm here it's because
we want to keep you, Doyun company. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so you got macro going. You've had some of the ups and downs. The hardest part is staffing, finding the right staff. Not even finding people that are willing to work hard.
Yeah, and right? that's probably the hardest part.
I agree. I think that is the hardest. Oh no, somebody in Korea is opening Hawaiian Bros takeout and delivery.
Oh no.
Oh no, we already have a competitor.
But you already had a competitor. You have Vertex.
They're not a competitor. And I don't like to use their name on here. Okay.
It's not good.
So that's kind of roughly, what do you find is the biggest challenge outside of staffing for you not being able to speak Korean fluently in order to grow your business?
I think it's the busy paperwork stuff. Like I'm not able to take care of like talking to specific like with the companies and dealing with like coupon eats or payment or something like that. It's my business thing. My business Korean is not very good. I can deal with the day-to-day operations in terms of staff, and that's fine. I could talk to vendors, and that's not a problem.
What about angry customers?
Angry customers, I could kind of deal with them, and that's not so bad. But like it's the business Korean that I'm terrible at because I don't understand like big words. I understand I understand big words in English, but I can't understand big words in Korean. So getting to like contractual parts and like talking to people and setting up appointments and stuff like that. I can't do.
So it always amazes me when I meet foreigners or even gyeoppo that they don't have a lot of Korean ability, but they're running their own businesses.
So they have that person that's able to take care of it.
So that's the thing, I guess, surrounding yourself with good people, right?
Yeah.
That kind of compliment you.
You got Chuck.
I have Chuck. Well, like say I wanted to do something on my own outside of F&B.
Could you do it?
I don't know. Like, so if I was in America, I have no doubt.
Yeah,
I'd be up and running. I'd be running around doing 5 or 6 different projects at the same time. probably not making money for any of them, but I would be
just losing money and everything.
I'd have maybe 2 startups running simultaneously that I'm kind of managing and everything. But in Korea, I can't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it either. I can't do it either. And I'm just grateful that I have a good partner that takes care of that.
Who's your partner?
My beautiful wife.
Beautiful wife.
Beautiful wife.
Who's also passed out in my living room.
In a massage chair, which is really nice of her. Because she really needs it.
She works hard. She works hard. Oh.
Thank you, Doyun.
So Doyun says, having a great Sunday evening. Thanks to you too. Appreciate you taking the time to talk about your experience.
Well, I hope you're drinking wine with us as well.
Doyun, Jang, bye bye.
Sorry, my lips are so red. We had flaming hot Cheetos.
So a lot of the times on this channel, we'll talk about kind of LGBT related topics.
Yeah.
Because Kyori does have a significant amount of followers from that community.
Okay.
We also she does end up getting a couple of questions about plastic surgery. Nobody ever asked me anything because I don't think there's much to ask.
So what is your take about the LGBT community in Korea? Let's go with that.
Oh, interesting.
So because the community here is so exclusive.
Is it exclusive?
I feel like...
You think it's exclusive, or you think it's just like they have no choice?
They have no choice to be exclusive. Like the government and everyone else is putting so much. They put too much on them, and they hate them.
Oh, they hate. They're just not accepting, right?
Yeah, and then because they're not accepting, they hate. Right.
Yeah, but Korea is only... Modern Korea is like, what, 50 years old? 60 years old?
Yeah.
So think about
it. They developed very quickly.
Very
for
quickly.
the amount of time from the Korean War.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then if you think about it, America is actually not that old either. We're pretty stupid young. We're stupid and we're young. Because when I was in Italy, actually, I was thinking about this. I was in Venice on a trip with a buddy of mine, and we're going through the canals, and we're looking at some of these buildings. I'm like, this building is older than America.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Then, like, people in America be like, this is an old building, and it's only been like 10 years or something like that.
So, like, the perspective of how we see things is so skewed.
Yeah.
So we think in America we're very high and mighty. Yes, it's a very strong country. It's very big. There's diversity. It's gone through a lot in a very short period of time. But technically speaking, America is a little freaking baby compared to like Europe and other parts of the world. Our history, like,
I agree.
Because we look at America's history based on like the Pilgrims versus if we looked at our history as the Native Americans, right? The people that first inhabited. If that was part of our history, yeah, we have a history. But actually, our history is like less than 150 years old.
Yeah,
I think.
it's very small.
That's like with 2 generations.
Yeah, it's very small.
So, and then Korea, it's
maybe
literally
four
generations, more than 150, 200 years.
Yeah,
18 something.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm really bad with history.
Yeah, generations are.
Okay, but Korea's only modern history is like 60, 70 years. I think it's not. It's post-Korean War.
Oh yeah, post-Korean War, everything went straight up skyrocketing, and it's thanks to the government.
Yeah.
I mean,
he said it's because we know you're already exhausted, Justin. Questions are not meant for tired people. That's great. That would be great too if my employees felt that way. I just got like 2 calls earlier from my employees. I wish they realized that they don't need to be asking me questions. But okay, so I guess my point was, so it kind of in terms of LGBT, in terms of like human rights, in terms of even like feminism, the fact that Korea is like a patriarchy, the fact that it's based on Confucianism ideals and what is that? Shamanism history.
Sure.
There's a lot of like historical context to Korea where this modernization, quote unquote, globalization, it's still relatively new.
Yeah,
and
like there's
relatively new.
And because there are a lot of there's that society where everyone like they feel
like homogeneous. So like
it's
kind
like
of the single-minded.
they
thinking.
have this very similar mentality on how things should have been and like how they should be. When it comes to something new, they're gonna hate on it because it's something different.
Yeah, but
And it's it's difficult.
But there's like a group. I bet Doyen knows. He's going to the toilet, and it's gonna.
That's a toilet.
That's a toilet.
It's so small. Okay, it's like a box this big.
No, it's a big box. It's a hole that big.
So they get in the hole.
Not they, just him. It's his personal toilet. No,
so
none of that.
Down there is.
I apologize.
Can viewers look at this?
We don't need to show it. Leave him alone.
But it's a toilet box.
Nick, our cat, our first cat. We bought like a 200,000 won like bathroom for our cats, where it's like a little cabinet with like 2 layers. One is like the what is it? The box, kitty litter box, and then there's like a little not staircase, but like a little platform. So they get all the kitty litter off their hands when they hop on it, so it doesn't make a mess. So we're like, oh, this is great. But only our cat from America uses it. The other cats, they don't like it. They're afraid of it. So he has a personal toilet.
Well,
but he still uses the other litter boxes.
Well, he's
so spoiled.
He must eat a lot. You must give him a lot of food.
No, I don't.
This is why I want dogs. This is why I like dogs. They
Okay, so back to my feeling about Korea LGBT.
Okay.
I think it's definitely moving in a good direction. I think the pace though is relatively slow, but it's still moving. So I think
it's moving in a good direction. Right? I agree. I think it's becoming more public and more aware, and people are becoming more accustomed to it, so they're not hating it as much, but it is a slow process.
It's a slow process.
It's a slow process, especially as the culture as a whole are majority Christian. And
so be clear, this is a foreigner perspective. So we're not Korean, we're not embedded in society.
No.
But this is our outside observation, right?
Yeah. And in my personal observation is that most of the Koreans, they are very religious. Not most. I guess there's a lot of. It's not. I wouldn't say the majority. What would you say?
I think probably in Korea, 50% of the population is Christian.
Yeah,
but I think so. It's the same thing as America. You have whatever large percentage of people that are Christian or Catholic by category. But they don't really practice what they preach.
Not at all.
So I kind of feel like maybe to a certain degree, Korea is even worse. Like, you have good Christians that are going around yelling at people.
There's the stereotypical majority that make things worse for everyone else. I mean, that's just how it normally is.
What is it? That's the few bad apples ruin the bunch, right?
Exactly. And everyone only focuses on that bad part.
It's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But that's everywhere. That's not just Korea.
It's not Korea. It's the majority of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, like the handful of bad restaurants make if there's so, for example, in Itaewon, right, during COVID, there was a club.
Yeah,
it happened to be a gay club where there was, I guess,
and
a handful of cases.
It shut the entire district down, and it was terrible.
Actually, most of the people, weren't even from Itaewon. They were from all over Korea, not even just Seoul. And then second, whether it was a gay club, straight club, or whatever club, it was just a club.
Yeah.
But what happens is that now suddenly, LGBT gets a bad name for it.
Yeah, no one wants to be around that entire area.
And then they're blaming all the LGBT, etc.
Absolutely. Modernization in Korea is in some aspects inextricably tied to homophobia because of its modernization, driven by ultra-conservatives and Western Christian Catholic values. Doyeon-nim, you are very insightful. I mean, that is right there. That is absolutely what it should, that's Korea in a nutshell. That's Korea in a nutshell. Not everyone believes it, but the people that you meet, they don't believe it. But the people as a whole, they would believe it because you're not a part of the whole if you're in your own little world. Does that
I
make
don't
sense?
know.
Does that make sense? That doesn't
Sorry,
make
he's
sense.
been drinking.
I feel like that makes sense though.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the same in America, right? It was
Yeah.
founded by the Pilgrims, who were religious
Yeah.
Christian pilgrim, kind of doing all this other stuff. Like, so I'm Buddhist. Yeah.
Are you?
I am Buddhist.
That's so interesting.
Because technically, theoretically, your family heritage in Thailand is Buddhist as well.
I used to be a monk.
Now this makes sense. Now this makes sense. Wait, are you serious?
No, yeah, I was a monk when I was 20.
Wait, what does that mean? You were
Yeah,
a monk?
okay,
How can you
so-
be a monk in California?
Oh man. Okay, so Thai.
Oh my god, wait, hold on. This is breaking news, folks.
He's never heard this.
Has anybody heard this?
yeah. Well, I guess not people in Korea. All right, so
Should you be drinking? Are you gonna go to Buddha hell?
No, there's no hell.
The Avicii hell?
All right, so because I'm Thai, part of my Thai culture is that every male needs to ordain as a monk.
Every male?
Yeah.
And is it like the monks, like the Shaolin, everybody's
No,
going?
man, that's China. That's
Okay, never mind.
That's not Thailand.
Okay.
That's different. That's.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so...
Yeah, but okay. So every Thai male needs to ordain as a monk for like minimum 2 weeks.
Wait, every male in Thailand?
It has to.
So basically, this is like the Thailand Korean military, except it's only for 2
But
weeks.
the
and
thing
they have
is
to be-
that Thai people also have to go in the military.
Oh, so they have a
So
double whammy.
they got like a double whammy. It's a double whammy. So they have to go and ordain as a monk, and then they'll get fucking conscripted to go into the army. So they do both, and it's very.
So one is like, don't hurt.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe it's really bad. I don't know. I don't know anything about it because I'm not Thai.
Oh, you never had.
I'm
a
an
kid.
American Thai, so
see.
it really doesn't matter. But so I went through like a good 2 week crash course into Buddhism as a monk, and then I spent the rest of the month like traveling around, like blessing places and doing meditations and prayers and
In Thailand?
no, in California,
Oh.
man. Like I didn't go to Thailand. I mean, that would have been really cool. Actually, to think about it, like the amount of serenity that I got from being a monk was amazing. It was really amazing. I felt at peace and everything was nice, and I saw how things related to each other, and there's just the cause and effect, and like things didn't bother me. I would absolutely do it when I retire and just go and for like a month at a time. My cousin, who I love, he loves like he'll take like 2 weeks off from his job. He works at Disney, and he takes like 2 weeks off.
Disney in California.
California, he's in Imagineer.
Okay.
And he'll take like 2 weeks off, like, and he'll just shut everything off, close his phone, turn everything off, and just go into a temple and just do like a retreat and just stay for 2 weeks, and then come out and just.
Is he married?
No, he's actually gay, which is very interesting.
Oh, interesting.
I know, I was very, I don't know, interested by it because he loves the silence, he loves the meditation, he loves all of that. So
Wow.
it's a very interesting dynamic.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, used to be a monk, had to shave the eyebrows along with the head.
Well, I think it's like we're having streaming issues.
Why? You only
It
have two
says,
now.
but it says no data. But it says live, and it says it's streaming. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Do I have to keep pedaling? Is that what I have to do?
No. It's not. It's not running on your power.
Sorry, I'm good.
Okay, now it's
Excellent connection.
So that's interesting. Cheers. That's the way wine should sound, actually. And if you have a nice wine glass,
Justin needs a temple retreat, so no clues can ask him any questions. I love it. Dora, could we hang out? Because you're awesome. I like everything you said.
Doyen, that's called quarantine in a quarantine facility. And I agree, it's very nice, and I could definitely go for
I don't
it.
think he's gonna do it. I don't think he can.
I don't think, because I don't think they have quarantine facilities.
No,
anymore.
not even. Even if you were like in a retreat somewhere far away, you would be so like antsy that you wouldn't be able to relax your mind.
It depends.
Nah,
so,
I don't think
so.
you can.
I used to
I don't
go
think you can
to.
relax your mind.
I used to go to a lot of like youth conferences or different huge conferences that either I was helping work or as an attendee, where that was the whole purpose. It was kind of like within our Buddhist community, we have like a big facility in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
All we would do is go there for like 2-3 days, and it's just like a very spiritual, like, I guess, refresher. But you're right to a certain degree, because most of the time I went there as a worker to help.
Yeah, exactly. You're the one using the logistics behind everything. Let's plan everything. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like you can't shut your mind
But I think I
off.
get that from my parents, because actually my parents are very active people. They're not. So the idea of going someplace as a vacation to do nothing.
It's not. That's not.
I know. But
not
nothing,
the point.
aka relax, refresh, rejuvenate, translates into my experience growing up as doing nothing is very unattractive.
Yeah, because like if you're doing nothing, who else? Who else is doing the work that because you're doing nothing?
Doyen said Justin would sit in the temple and think about better ways to grill pineapples.
Oh,
See,
man.
this is where you're wrong, okay?
Oh man,
Because
air fry grill pineapples are probably the better way to do it.
Because I would only think about that for 2 minutes, because I already have it figured out. And then I would think about how to do everything else better. But pineapples, 2 minutes, not the whole day.
You should get one of those spits and just put pineapples on the spit and you just shave it down, because that would be so much better.
No.
You attract so much attention.
If
Imagine you just had a spit right in the center, and then you just had this pineapple rotating.
In the window?
Yeah, and you had like multiple, like 4 pineapples on the spit, and you're just shaving it down.
Oh my god.
Shaving it down. People would just be like, "Oh my god, I want."
That
this
would be a
one
waste of
pineapple."
money. So,
But think about it, it's like Texas State Brazil, man.
what were you talking about before? You were talking about how you're Buddhist and you were a monk for a little bit in your 20s, and I was Buddhist,
Yeah.
but there was a point to it.
There was.
Jesus. And before that, we were talking about kind of the perspectives of LGBT,
Yeah.
cute, and kind of the
How Christians don't accept, but we were going to talk about how Buddhism is more of a self-reflecting.
definitely self-reflecting.
Type
But
of
I don't think
person.
we're going to go. I wasn't going to go there with that. I don't compare religions, because there's good and bad.
Absolutely.
There's definitely good and bad seeds in every religion and every practitioner. And you can't. I actually think all religions, the initial intent has always been positive,
Absolutely.
right? All religions. Maybe there's some that aren't, but I think most religions, the intent at some point in its history.
I think for the most part, it was because they couldn't figure out what was making things work, and so they would make religion to make.
Well, no, I think it's think about it, it's a life philosophy.
Yeah.
Right? Because people, so this is another thing. This is just my observation of people. People want a community. People seek a community, a sense of belonging, a sense of being part of something. And that community helps define direction, character, how somebody lives their lives. Right? There are people that, I want to be alone and blah, blah. There are that. But I think majority of people want to be part of something. So gangs, what you grew up in California. You think a bunch of people, we're just going to individually be like little punks.
They want to feel like they belong.
They want to belong.
Absolutely, and
people,
that's 100%.
Whether it's a religion, whether it's a cult, whether it's a gang, whether it's,
It's
WeWork.
It's all a shared ideal towards a bigger picture where they want to feel something.
And I don't think that's wrong in of itself, but it's where is that picture going? That's what's important.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So I think, LGBTQ too. I think the thing is, in Korea, the community isn't very strong. And this is the same as America.
But I feel like it's because they were hated on so
No,
much.
but I also think it's because of So I don't know this. So like I've met a lot of transgender people in Korea because of Kyori. So transgender male to female, transgender female to male. I know for sure for female to male, there's not a really strong community. Can you stop pedaling,
I'm
please?
sorry.
I
got excited for a second.
There's not really a strong community where people can connect and like kind of feed off of each other and support. MTF, male to female communities, there are some actually YouTubers that actually like kind of, they've created some sort of community. There's different blogging or like community boards that people use, but there's no community. Lesbians, apparently in Hongdae there's a bunch of lesbian bars, but again, but exactly, nobody really knows because if you're not in that community, it's not well known outside.
I thought there were a lot of gay bars in Itaewon.
There's gay bars in Itaewon. Lesbian and gay is very different.
Yeah.
So there isn't an overall sense of like community within LGBTQ, but I know it's not that different maybe in many other parts of the world. But I think that's so interesting because even though everybody's different, you know, a trans man wants to live as a man. He doesn't want to be outed. A trans woman wants to live as a woman. She doesn't want to be outed.
Yeah.
Yet they want to be able to support and they need the knowledge and resources while they're going through that transition.
Sure.
There's no great way of organizing all of that to support the community. That's one of the biggest issues I think within.
Maybe they just need a proper leader to wrangle the different values and ideals together.
Maybe, but I think maybe that's where that part where you said it's hard to do, right? Because you have whether it's a government, whether it's religious.
Yeah, there's a lot of other variables. There's a lot of other variables pounding it down and making it very difficult for them to be the way they want to be, especially in Korea.
So, you know, when I was in my MBA program, there was a very clear picture for international students. You're going to go home and work after this, get an MBA. Because it's so hard to get a visa.
Sure.
To get sponsored in America.
Sure.
And so, like, even our career services, like, they never would say it's impossible. But they also wouldn't say, oh, it's really hard. Oh, you can do it. You just need to do X, Y, and Z. But the reality is, it's actually really hard. For a company to want to invest time and effort
into one person,
and then to have to get the legal paperwork and everything to sponsor a person, sponsor an international student who can't be here without all of that. So that difficulty.
There's a queer community out there, but
unless you have an in, and you fit in once you get in, it's really easy to feel isolated and alone most of the time.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I think.
It must be tough.
Yeah.
To be in the LGBT community here in Korea must be like one of the hardest struggles for anyone to go through. I mean,
actually, I bet you it's even harder if you're from a Muslim country.
Oh, 100%.
Can you imagine if you're in a Muslim country? It's illegal.
And they're trying to come to another country to be free and express what they want, and they can't do it. It must be so hard.
And that's only like the what is it, the top of the iceberg.
Yeah,
that's not even tip of the iceberg. Not even understanding everything else people are going through. So, okay, the other thing Kyori talks a lot about, usually somebody will pop on and talk about breast augmentation. And we're not going to talk about that here.
Why not? We can talk about breast augmentation. I think if they feel like they want it, they should have it.
Cosmetic surgery, what do you think? Cosmetic anything surgery.
Cosmetic surgery, anything. In my opinion, if they want to have it to make them feel better and increase their self-confidence, then I think that they should do it.
But then the question is, why aren't they confident without it? That would be the America argument.
Yeah, why are they confident out of it?
Why can't they be confident and proud of who they are and what they look like? But then
the thing is like in America, they're so fucking lazy to even want to try to make themselves better. So they're saying, oh, that's fun.
And she does, I know.
No, but people in America, they've given up trying to make themselves better, so they just want to accept who they are. I mean, think about it. Like, oh, you're fat shaming all these people and we're doing all this stuff and because you're fat. Yeah. You should accept who you are, but maybe work on losing weight because it's actually a health deficiency. It's like, I don't know. These people in America, it's so much worse, and they shouldn't accept who they are in times of like something that could be really easy to fix.
You know, this is an interesting hypocrisy, right? So you'll meet any guy who's totally against LGBT, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll meet very like narrow-minded people like, I can't stand those gays and this and this and that. But the minute you say, but what if two lesbians wanted to have you in bed with them? Well, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like it's like you can't have one.
Americans are very selfish, and like that's one of the reasons why they're so hung up about like their appearance and like self-consciousnness.
But actually, Korea's more hung up on appearance
because they are expected to look a specific way, like because I hate to say it, but like K-pop and like the way media portrays how people should look makes everyone else feel inferior.
So, Pete, how did you avoid all of that? How have you been able to maintain your look and image without feeling any pressure of looking better or good? Or
I hate myself all the time. I hate myself all the time. I used to be an athlete and I used to be great and I used to feel really good about myself, but now I feel terrible about myself all the time. Wait, Ash Blue. I agree with you guys. It might be my personal thoughts. I think the current homophobic views in Korea, it's like America in the 80s when the AIDS considering as gays is as a gay 100%. 100%.
The view is so. But you know, the thing is, I bet you in reality in Korean society, and I bet you anything. I'll put 100,000 won on the table right now. I bet the number of people that are HIV positive in Korea, even the percentage, and in Japan, I would say most Asian countries, I bet you it's greater in the straight community than the gay community.
Oh, probably.
I bet
probably
you.
Right.
Because the thing is, they think so in Japan they don't use condoms very often. Because
it feels better.
No.
Sorry, I'm just joking.
And in Korea, I think it's very similar because there's no sex education.
Yeah.
So if you think it's just a gay disease and you're going around having sex with prostitutes and all these other random people or one nights, you're spreading the virus. So I wouldn't be surprised if actually the percentage and Korea, the amount of people sleeping around in Korea, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah.
I don't know how you would take that data, but I'd be really interested to see the statistics of how many
the sexual things that Koreans do that are under the radar that no one talks about is.
But everybody knows about, right?
Everyone knows about
one nights.
But
that's crazy.
No one talks. Not even. We're not even talking about one nights. We're talking about like booking clubs and like the places where people like go and you just go and then you find a person to go on.
Have you been to a booking club?
I have not. Oh wait, I have. It was called Shampoo.
I don't think you should name things out.
No, it was weird. I went. It was like because it was like they played 80s, 90s, 2000 Korean music, which I love. I love old school Korean music. Right. For some reason, it's just. It makes me feel something nice.
Makes them feel young.
It makes me feel young. And so I went there and like because they were playing it and like they would like grab girls and bring people to the tables and like all this stuff and I was like this is weird. Like this is not what a normal place should be. And then they had the side section where there's like a hotel and there's people and I was like this is even worse. Like I don't know, it was really
it's so
strange.
Interesting because the sex industry in Korea, while it's so underground, it's so huge.
Yeah,
and everybody knows about it domestically.
It's super common.
But if you're a foreigner, actually you don't have visibility to it. It's very minimal because
I agree.
So as a foreigner who can't read and write and understand Korean,
Yeah, you can't go there.
The industry is very like, oh, there's not much sexuality in Korea. But actually, if you're a Korean, you're like, oh no, there's a huge underground everywhere. Right?
It's everywhere.
It's so crazy.
It's everywhere. It only takes a little bit of time to see it.
Dolian says, Justin, absolutely right. There are way more HIV positive straight people in Korea, especially because the sex industry is huge, but sex workers are not allowed safe working conditions. And Dolian, right there, you brought up a Ooh, that's not my cat. You brought up another very interesting topic, right? The legalization of prostitution. Because
in Korea, it's not legal.
No, in Korea it's illegal, but actually in America, that's another huge push that people are doing, because by legalizing prostitution, technically you can now put the safety measures in place.
I feel like they just want to legalize it so they can monetize TikTok and like OnlyFans and stuff like that, where they can. Because that's
but this issue has been around way before TikTok.
Of course, media. But like because it's gained popularity in a lot of things, I think that's one of the reasons why America is trying to push for more legalization.
It's been around within the small voice, like within that small community. It's been that voice has been stressed off. So I don't know if I told you this, but I guess I'm not anymore. I was a certified case manager for human trafficking.
Really?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes, because I wanted to initially go into the anti-human trafficking movement.
Wow.
But at the time when I applied, it was still very like only a few organizations existed. Only one existed in California. And that one organization that I continuously applied to, it was called CAS, Coalition Against Slavery and Trafficking, or Human Slavery and Trafficking. But I realized when they posted a job for a case manager, I'm like, oh, I think I'm eligible. And I'm passionate. The person they ended up hiring worked at the UN for like 5 years, had like a PhD and a master's. I'm like, I can't compete with that.
Look at you, Justin, being a saint and wanting to be a caseworker for these people.
But I was a caseworker for the homeless population.
And then you became a restaurant owner.
And then I became a 식당
Interesting.
How do you say owner? I don't know.
사장님.
식당
Oh my god. 식당. 식당 사장님.
네. 식당.
Fantastic.
Anyways, okay. But yeah, Ash Blue, I'm ashamed of these facts as a Korean citizen. Ashamed or not, it's just a reality, right?
It's nothing to be ashamed about.
It's not you.
It's not you. It's not anything about it. It's just the society as a whole. I don't know if it's for me to actually say this properly, but like I feel like because Korea grew so quickly after the Korean War, there were a lot of things that there was not a lot of things that they grew economically, but they weren't able to grow culturally.
No, I think it's growing culturally. Not that it didn't grow culturally.
It did grew culturally, but like it didn't grow at the same rate as in the economic standpoint.
But that's from a Western perspective.
Yeah,
if you think about it, it's
but like okay, so let me my one example is driving.
Oh, fucking! I hate.
Okay,
but I've become a bad driver too in Korea.
You can't say that because you're not as bad as.
No, I'm pretty bad.
Well, okay, you're terrible. All right. Anyway, driving. Everyone has a car now. Everyone's driving.
Not everyone,
but for the majority of people, and
not even majority of the people.
But like as they grow, but like when we were growing up in America. Right, we learn proper ethics and how to maintain ourselves in the road properly. Yeah, here in Korea, it doesn't work that way.
But
it's not. It doesn't. It's not. Everything is always in a selfish standard where it's like me first. This cat is drinking a lot of water.
No, he's not. He's tapping the glass.
Oh,
Nick, what are you doing?
They want to get out there. Yeah. But as being a citizen, it's not that You got. You just threw it off.
No, he jumped off of me. He jumped off. Like watch the video recap. He jumped off of me.
I was like whack.
No, watch.
There you go.
Watch. Okay, sorry.
Ready,
We're watching the video relay. He jumped.
Yeah, you.
He jumped off.
It was a literal. Just let me let you go because you're touching me too much. So no, Ash is. You shouldn't feel like ashamed at all. You should be proud to be a citizen, as a Korean citizen. You just, you should just understand there are a lot of problems, and our society, your society is trying to fix it.
Hey, so I'm gonna tangent. You're married to a Korean woman.
I am. Why did you close? He's close.
Because we don't want Hannah to hear this. And I'm married to a Korean woman.
Real talk here?
Real talk.
Because we closed the door?
Real married talk.
Okay.
From foreigner to... as foreigners married to Korean women. And I'm sure it's not different from like a foreign woman married to a Korean man, or a foreign man dating a Korean man, or
right.
foreign
so many combinations.
women, or exactly.
Too many combinations. What's going on?
What is the biggest obstacle or struggle or frustration you have being married to a Korean spouse, partner?
Being married to a Korean spouse?
A Korean spouse, partner.
Don't
worry, this is only recorded.
There's really nothing. At least for me, I have no problems with my wife. I love my wife, and everything we do, we have great understandings. We have a great relationship. We get into fights, but mostly it's about business, because she is my partner in my business. And so that's not, there's no, in terms of like how we are as people, everything's kosher. Like I was just lucky to find the right person to be with, and who understands me just as much as I understand them. What about you?
That's so beautiful. I have none. I'm very happy.
Well, this question was so bullet loaded that I feel like it was like a fucking bomb, and I was like,
language, please, language.
This was a bomb. No F words.
Okay, so we actually did the hour quota that we were trying to fill.
Holy cow, we did?
We did good. Doyun, thank you so much for staying with us. Ash, same thing, thank you so much. And the other 5 people that were on here, thank you so much. I hope you were able to enjoy a little bit. The takeaway from this is, once Kyoti's finished with her paper, she'll be here, and we won't be. So
yeah, this is my first experience. I've never done a live feed before. This is very interesting.
Yes, me too.
What are you talking about? You do this all the time.
Yes, I guess I do.
Yeah.
So other takeaways: running a restaurant anywhere in the world is hard. Running a restaurant in Korea
is really hard if you don't speak the language properly.
Right?
But you can, if you have the right amount of gusto. No, if you have the right motivation, and you want, and you know your product is good, then people will want it. It will get there.
But just to be clear, look at this face. Does he not look tired?
I'm tired all the time.
Does his face not look tired?
Your face looks red.
I think it's just the lighting.
No, it's because you've been drinking too much.
I don't get red. But look, no, it's the screen. Because look, we're both right. We're both white there.
No, not at all.
No.
Your face is red.
He said, "It was amazing having you here, Pete. And thank you to Justin for fighting through his exhaustion to be here. Thank you so much. But just so you know, every Sunday I'm exhausted."
Doyeon-nim, it's been amazing to talk to you from a very interesting media, because I've never done this before, and I hope that you order from my place soon. And oh god,
Kizia, Hi, thank you so much for
Thank
staying
you.
with us.
Thank you guys.
And
It's
being
been
patient.
a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Please, if you come, thank you, Ash.
So Doyun, if you order from him, he has 2 restaurants, one in Daechi
Oksu and one in Daechi.
So
If you come to Daechi, please tell me that you're a part of this, and I will just give you free food because this is amazing. This is a really cool platform. I've never done this before. Maybe I should start doing it. I'd probably be terrible at it. But
it's okay. Just remember, this is
I like appearances. I like to come and do appearances. Maybe I'll
this is your last one.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being patient with us. Again, I'm so sorry Kyori wasn't able to join tonight. She's just resting up. She's tired. Hopefully, though, after tonight, she'll finish this day on paper, and at least she'll have one big thing off her plate. Have a good week. Fighting. And go to sleep. I'm tired.
Oh my god.
It's 11 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good night. Bye.
Bye. Get some rest.
Pete, thanks for joining. Now I gotta end stream here.